Hi there, my name is Aideen, and for the first time on my channel, I'm going to talk about the 5 of what I love and hate the most about the Cayman Islands. Well, I have been working and living here since 2013, so I guess that's long enough as validation for my opinion on this topic, so I hope you tune in. I consider the Cayman Islands as my second home. By the way, I am originally from the Philippines. Before I came to the island to work here, I also had the opportunity to travel to other Asian countries like Thailand, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So I know that wherever country you travel, the main factor that will break or make your trip is the people. And who are the first people that you're going to encounter as soon as you disembark the plane? Of course, the immigration and the customs officers. So what is my first encounter with them like? Well, I would say that they are very thorough, and yet I can still feel their friendliness and hospitality within them. I felt rather welcome than intimidated. I remembered they asked me if I already had an English test because I came from a non-English speaking country, and I said I didn't know that it was a requirement, so what will be the consequence in case I didn't pass it? And she said that of course I can be sent back to my country, original country. So I said, okay, if I can take the exam within the day, I will. It was already past 5 p.m., but the immigration official accommodated me and had me finish the exam. Well, it was rather easy and I got a perfect score. That was in 2013. Now, from 2013 up to this date, what I noticed that haven't changed is that same friendliness. Whenever you're outside and you meet a complete stranger, they would just give you a genuine smile and say hi, which is not usual in the country I came from. So I gotten used to it. I adopted to that culture or to that trait. That's why when I also encounter or meet a complete stranger on the street, I just smile and say hi as well. So yes, I can honestly say that I love the people of the Cayman Islands. If you have been following my YouTube channel, you would understand that my family and we love to eat. So we already tried numerous restaurants in the island, from average to a bit of a high end. In other words, the Cayman Islands are home to international cuisine, so you'll never run out of choices when you get a chance to visit us here. But you know what really is frustrating to me is their local food. Up to now, I couldn't quite tell, or I don't know specifically which is local to the Cayman Islands. Well, of course, you can find jerk chicken huts all over the place, but that is something that is also common to Jamaica. Well, breadfruit, I suppose, is local to the Cayman Islands, but that's something that you cannot have every day, or it's not a staple food. They also have turtles too, but definitely I wouldn't eat turtle. I love oxtail, but I guess that's also not distinctive to Cayman because that's common to all the Caribbean countries. So if there is someone local who is watching this vlog, please help me find out what is really distinctive and unique food to the Cayman Islands. I would really want and desire to taste that. So only for this reason, I would say that I hate the food of the Cayman Islands, because whatever you can get here, you can also get somewhere else. No one can argue that the Cayman Islands have the best beaches in the world. And the nicest thing about it is that you can access these beaches anytime for free with all the amenities like cottages, sheds, and public toilets, clean public toilets. So, what are you waiting for? Book your tickets and fly here. So, needless to say that I love the beaches and parks of the Cayman Islands and I will never get enough of them. You do not pay income and real estate tax here in the islands. However, do bear in mind that most of the things here are imported. So freight charges and custom duties are added to the cost, making it more expensive. I already made several videos covering this topic, the cost of island living. So if you get a chance, please do check them out. So this category will definitely fall under what I hate about the Cayman Islands. How are you liking the view so far? This is Dart Family Park, by the way, which is close by the Smith Cove. If you're coming from downtown Georgetown or if you're familiar with the Kirk Market, you'll get to pass here first before the Smith Cove. If you noticed that the coastline of the Cayman Islands is consist of iron shore. Now let's move to safety and security here in the islands. Recently, I read in the news of female being attacked in public places such as beaches and boardwalk by a maniac. But those were only isolated cases and I hope it will stop and be resolved soon. In general, the Grand Cayman, along with its two sister islands, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, are safe for all the locals and tourists. I mean, you can walk around, go to shops without having to worry about your wallet or your phone being snatched or being held up. There's no instances of pickpocketing here, and the crime rate is very minimal. That I am proud to say. So yes, you're safe and secure when you travel in the Cayman Islands, but then again, you still have to take the necessary precaution. Now, what can I say about the customer service here in the islands? Inasmuch as the people here are courteous and friendly. By customer service, I mean how they deal with the transactions I have with them than how they deal with me personally, because definitely they will deal with me in a friendly and polite manner and I salute them for that. But as to how I am satisfied with the services, well, let me cite some of my personal encounters with the banks. Recently, I requested for a change in my billing address. So I went to the bank and I have my letter of request, my ID, and my employment letter. Well, somebody assisted me right away, but he asked me to wait. And that's the problem, having to wait for God knows how long. I waited for 30 minutes, 1 hour, more than an hour. Not because the queue was long. Finally, I was asked to approach the lady who had my documents, and I just told her I just needed to update my billing address. And she said to me, "Oh, you didn't really have to wait, you know. You just have to leave these requirements." That's convenient. But I was already asked to wait, and I wasted more than 1 hour waiting. Nope, this was not an isolated case because a few years back, I also had a bad encounter with a bank. I needed to dispute a transaction in my credit card and I was asked to go to the main branch, which I did. I submitted documents and all, stayed in a long queue. After a few days, I called the bank to follow up if certain actions were already made regarding my complaint, only to find out that zero or no complaint was lodged. What the F? What happened to the documents I submitted? And the time I wasted? This honestly is one area that needs improvement. And if you disagree with me, feel free to comment below. Down to number 7. Well, wherever country you go, there is discrimination, and that is a fact. But here in the Cayman Islands so far, personally, I haven't encountered such. Say for example, even when we go to a luxury store and we are just dressed simply, we are treated fairly by the sales assistant or sales personnel. Even in my workplace, I never felt discriminated. Except when it comes to remuneration, I have few comments on that. There was an employer who once said or told a friend of mine that no Filipino will ever get a salary of 6,500 CI. Well, that person is definitely wrong, because after being separated from that company, that friend of mine is even getting more. It is an antiquated idea that one salary or remuneration should be based on the country where you are from or your nationality. No way. It should be based on what you can contribute to the company and your ability and capacity to perform your job. I hope that that is only an isolated case, because here in the Cayman Islands, I can confidently say that we are being treated fairly as an expat. And I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you're not getting bored with all the chit chats. We're now on number 8. And here's what I have to say about the operating hours of shops here in the Cayman Islands. Well, most of the shops, especially in downtown, close at 5 p.m. Okay, I get it. Your main target market are the tourists from the cruise ship. But hey, residents here like me would also love to shop. But most of us finish work at past 5 p.m. So how would that be possible? On the other hand, most of the shops at Cayman Bay close at 7 p.m. But then again, considering the traffic, by the time we get there, we only have an hour left to shop on a weekday. So I hope in the future they will be more flexible and consider changing or adjusting their operating hours to give way to locals and residents like me. By the way, just for your information, most of the shops here are closed on Sunday as well. Whether you are a tourist or an expat and you find the Cayman Islands suitable for you, well, you can purchase and own a property here. For an expat like me, for example, as long as I already worked in the islands for at least 2 years and I have enough savings for the bank, I am actually qualified to apply for a housing loan, which is a really good opportunity for investment, I would say. Actually, I have a friend who is also an expat. He acquired a property through a housing loan from a bank few years back. And you know what? The value of that property already doubled. On the other hand, as more foreign companies engage in the development of properties here in the Cayman Islands, it pulls the property prices up to the sky. Obviously, the target market of those foreign developers are not the locals, are not the expats, but the wealthy foreign investors. So yes, there will come a time that properties here in the Cayman Islands will only be afforded by the rich people. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Aidin and my channel is Aidin Overseas. I hope you find this video helpful and at the same time entertaining. By the way, I didn't mean to offend anyone. But there is always good and bad in everything, just like in life. Sometimes you shine and sometimes you just have to stay at the back seat and be an audience and observe. Both the happy and sad episodes in our lives will keep our balance.